I'm pretty sure I just saw you in the closet with my wife.
Yep. It was a very awkward weekend in Boston between both of us. But you know
Can we
what?
start over, please? That's the only thing I could think of.
Will Crosby.
Ian Gibson.
I'm pretty sure I just saw you at PAX East.
I'm pretty sure that was me.
Weren't we there recording our IRL episode of PGO at PAX?
We might have been doing that. I can neither confirm nor deny.
That's a whole lot of acronyms. PGO, IRL, at PAX. Will, what is PAX?
PAX is a convention. This was PAX East. It was originally started by Penny Arcade, though they are not super affiliated anymore. It's a weird situation. But anyways, it is a video game convention / board game convention / nerd event. So there's a giant expo hall, big expo floor, all sorts of stuff to do, and all sorts of panels and cool things to go to.
Awesome. So just to lay this out, how many times have you been to PAX? PAX East.
I think this was my 6th year at PAX East.
Okay. And this was my virginal year. And just right off the top, I gotta say, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah?
Yeah, but let's talk about the real things to talk about. Let's talk about video games, things we saw, things we may or may not have played, things that kind of grabbed our interest while we were at PAX East. Will, take us away. What do you got?
Okay. Just Shapes and Beats.
I'm sorry, what's it called?
Just Shapes and Beats.
Okay, Shapes and Beats. Tell me about it.
No, just Shapes and Beats.
Yeah, just Shapes and Beats. Tell me about it. Shapes and Beats. Go ahead.
Okay. Just Shapes and Beats is this game where you're these shapes and there's beats going on to the music, and you have to avoid things on the screen in order to survive a certain amount of time to defeat the boss. And it looks really awesome. There's a giant crowd of people watching these guys play it. It is coming to the Nintendo Switch and I believe also Steam. It's part of the Nindies for Nintendo Switch. It looks awesome. It sounded awesome. And by the reaction of the crowd, people are excited for it. And I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, they showed this off a little bit at a Direct previously. I'm not sure if it was an actual Direct or an Indie Direct, a Nintendo Indie Direct. But either way, I was kind of interested at the time, but seeing it in action on this big screen and this huge crowd of people just gathering around it with this MC cheering the people on playing the game, it's a tense, very stylish game, and I can't wait to play it.
Yes, 100% agree. I'm very much looking forward to it, and I am happy I'm a Switch owner because it looks marvelous on that. Ian Gibson, what did you see at PAX?
So I saw a game called Due Process. So, Will, do you remember back in 2014, there was this game that popped up, kind of an indie game. It was very, very early in the development. You could tell because the style was basically just placeholder. It was a first-person multiplayer shooter. Think about it as Rainbow Six Siege, but nothing but single small locations. It's all about planning mode with your team of 4, and then flipping over to quick combat rounds with single death elimination.
Let's assume yes.
Good, because it's back at PAX East. It's called Due Process, and the graphics look great. It's this weird kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It's like cel-shaded, pixelated. It's not really voxel, but if it is, it's like high-definition voxel type of stuff. Anyways, it's got this really unique look to it, and it's basically round-based tactical multiplayer, first-person shooter, and the rounds bleed into each other. So the example that I saw and that I heard at the Waypoint Radio panel was in the first round, the police come busting in. They have night vision goggles. They start shooting people, and then one of them dies. So one of the criminals loots the night vision goggles in the first round. The next round, he has a pair of night vision goggles. So then he turns the lights out and ambushes the police as they come in the dark. So it's kind of this idea of it's not really cash or points that bleed between rounds. It's the physical equipment in the game, and that it can actually impact how the round-to-round combat plays out. So it looks fantastic. It's one of those indie games that has roared its head again and is very, very exciting to look at.
Awesome. That sounds like a fun time, and I'm looking forward to play that on PC.
Yes, that's correct. It's from Giant Enemy Crab. It's on PC. There is no release date right now, but they say the alpha testing is coming soon.
Awesome.
So let's talk about a game that both of us saw and were kind of intrigued by called Dark Web.
Yeah, I remember agreeing to something about what we were supposed to say about it, but I don't remember exactly what that entails, so I'm going to be incredibly vague.
I hear you, but that being said, there was a Game of Sutra article just today from Gardner, the head of the studio, who basically laid out exactly what it is. So I feel like we can talk about it.
Oh, sweet. Okay, cool. I went into a dark room. I listened to several vignettes, I guess you would call them.
Mm-hmm.
There was the forest, the harvest, and something else that I can't remember. But you had to choose one of them, and depending on what you chose, it would give you these little like quotes or whatever tidbits, and then you get a creepy mask, and then you would leave. And so it, from what like the vignette audio was, it's super intriguing, and I love the like secrecy of like this dark web, and like I don't even know what the game's about yet, but it excites me.
Yeah, I was very intrigued by this presentation. We were warned beforehand that this was going to be a little different. And so you basically just walk through a curtain into a dark hallway. There's somebody with a mask. They say no words. They kind of gesture towards a laptop. You do the demo, and then they hand you an ugly mask and a pin, and then they usher you back out of the hallway. And it kind of struck me as I'm excited for it because, number one, the audio vignettes were very well done. And then there's also the fact that the presentation was just super creepy. It wasn't some monitor playing the game over and over again. It wasn't a play demo. It wasn't, a whole bunch of freebies to entice people to your booth. It was just a weird behind curtains type of thing.
Yeah, it was weird in a good way, and I'm very excited to see what comes of it.
Yep. So I think that's going to be kind of it for our review of PAX East. Will, what do you give it? What's your score?
I give it a 4 taco bowls out of a 7-Eleven tuna fish sandwich.
Okay. I was going to give it a half-broken Toyota SUV on the side of the highway divided by a really yellow SNES.
Nice. Wow.
I think that's the highest score I've ever given anything.
It's also the horror score you've ever given anything.
It's the highest and the horrorest score. Wow, that sounds really inappropriate now that I repeat it.
Yeah, it does. Maybe we should stop talking.
Yeah, we got to get out of here. Bye-bye.
Bye.